So let's talk about one of the most surprising things to happen, and that's Cobra Kai being fucking awesome. The 10 episodes series right on here on YouTube.
Yeah.
Holy shit. When that trailer came out a few months ago, it just came out. I mean, we're now in the middle of June. Came out in early May. When that trailer came out, I was going to do a reaction to it, and I heard like it doesn't look too good. So I love the Karate Kid, so I was really apprehensive about it. I watched the trailer, and it did look like some shitty nostalgia fucking cash grab, and I was really upset about it. And I didn't watch it right away. It took me a while, and actually, we watched it. We watched the first 2 or 3 episodes.
I was begging you. I was like, you gotta see this.
You gotta see it. So many people are saying, because a lot of people know that, like, I fucking love the Karate Kid. That's one of my, like, that movie shaped who I was growing up, and I still get choked up every single time I watch that movie when Daniel wins at the end, and Miyagi just has that look of pride on his face, exactly that. And it just freeze frames on Pat Morita. I get that lump in my throat every single time. I love that movie so much, but goddamn, Cobra Kai just didn't. You know,
it's way better than it had any need to be.
Any right to be at all. I thought it was just going to rely on nostalgia at best.
I personally thought it was going to be just like a 20-25 minute little mini movie, just like see where maybe Johnny's life has gone, and then they would have, you know, maybe a still frame at the end where he and Danny like got together and they're like, we're gonna do one last battle and then cut.
Right.
And then, you know, maybe they'll do a little something later, but...
Yeah, I didn't know that it was going to be 10 episodes. I had no
idea it was going to be 10 episodes.
10 episodes. Yeah. It didn't rely on nostalgia. It relied on nostalgia just enough. Yeah. At its core, it's its own very well written story. Yeah. And since it's called Cobra Kai, Johnny is the main character in this now. So I have a lot of trouble with it. I watched the series through twice. I used to have nightmares about Johnny and the rest of the Cobra Kai, because when I was younger, I was very small. I got bullied a lot, especially in like my very early teenage years, from like 11 to about 14 was like absolute fucking hell for me. And I used to have nightmares about like these kids that were bullying me, and like the Cobra Kai kids would get mixed in there. So I always had like this hatred for Johnny. And now going back and watching Cobra Kai, it's that good that I really feel sympathetic for the guy.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I asked you right from the beginning.
Right.
You definitely said that, hey, I have no sympathy for Johnny. I've had nightmares of him. And I was like, just get a few episodes in. Get all the way to the end, and then come back to me and tell me what you thought.
Well, where I'm at now is now watching it through the second time. Johnny in the first movie I will never forgive. Ever. I don't care about that cute little YouTube video saying that, well, what if Daniel is the bully? It's completely out of context. It took clips just to satisfy whoever made it. You know, honestly, fuck that fucking clip. Because I watched the movie again with a fresh take. The Cobra Kai kids are absolutely the fucking bullies in that. There was no argument there, absolutely. But in the new Cobra Kai, I really like Johnny at the end, and watching it through a second time after knowing what happens at the end, I will also say in the beginning that there will be fucking spoilers, so if you complain in the comments, you can eat shit. Just don't complain. Don't fucking complain. We're going to talk about everything about Cobra Kai. It's been out for over a month now. So, but everything that happens with him throughout the series of just seeing how, you know, horrible his life had gotten, how he never really went anywhere after that. He was living in that shithole apartment. Even that car that he was driving was like that mid-'80s, you know, Firebird that definitely was like his pride and joy back in the day. And even, you know, when he gets into that car accident when Daniel's daughter and her fucking stupid rich friends hit into the car, he's like, hey man, it's a classic, be careful about it. You know, he loved that car. That was that was a time capsule of the time of when he was the fucking king. You know, when he was the All-Valley karate champ.
Basically, you know, I think everybody knows at least one or two people in their lives that it's like they peaked during their high school, college years.
Yep. Oh, I do.
Did not make anything else beyond that.
No, they thought they wouldn't have to, and they became pieces of shit. We all know people like that. But it just it's really cool to see how when the new kid Miguel moves in and he's getting bullied and Johnny just happens to, he doesn't stand up for him. It's because they're beating on Miguel and they happen to throw him against this car while Johnny is just sitting outside like a 7-Eleven eating a fucking slice of pizza, and some meth head is like, hey, you better not be hustling here, this is my corner. And it's like, dude, I'm just eating, like, that's my car. So he gets, obviously, again, coming back to the car, he gets pissed off once they throw Miguel into the car, and then these fucking assholes think he's a bum. So Johnny whips out karate and just fucking kicks all their asses.
There's so many parallels to the original movie.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you kind of get to see it from the opposite end of things. It's like, okay, let's completely flip the script.
Oh, yeah.
As they say in the series.
Yeah, we gotta flip
a few
the script.
times.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that they threw that line in there.
No, they did. Well, there is, talking about that, the opening scene in Karate Kid at the beach, there is one much later on where there is a huge beach party, and essentially the kids that are joining Cobra Kai are all, you know, bullied. They're all nerds. They're, I guess, what you call losers.
Yeah.
Very much, I empathize with them a lot because, especially Miguel, I saw a lot of myself in him, and especially the other kid, Eli, who becomes Hawk later on. And we will get to that, too, of if I was that age and had that kind of training, I probably would have become one of them, which is very scary to think
And gotten
now.
that mohawk.
Yeah, well, I had hair at one point, guys. I did actually. It was the truth. I did have hair, so I could have had a mohawk back in the day when I was about 15 years old. But anyway, what was I saying? No, the parallels of the beach party at the end, and there was supposed to be like the popular girls were going to have the beach party, and then the nerds show up and kind of take it over, and
it's almost like a prequel sequel. Like you get to see, like in the first few episodes of Cobra Kai, kind of what it was probably like before the first movie, where, you know, before that beach party and this beach party, you get to see Johnny's training of sorts, but in this, in place of Miguel being the scrawny rich kid, or not even a rich kid, but just being
he's poor.
Yeah, just being somebody that was just, you know, want to belong to something, because something, you know, and his life was not going so well.
No, he didn't really have many friends. And Cobra Kai brought it together for him to be part of something, and that's where a lot of these kids came together. And a big thing that I was just saying of what these kids become, you see they start out as very frightened, timid kids. Miguel is the first one that starts training with Johnny. Johnny is still not sure if he wants to keep Cobra Kai open because he doesn't have a lot of money to do it. He only has Miguel there as one student. And so it's
doing all the grunt work.
Doing all the grunt work. It's very
cleaning up the place because the inspectors. Essentially, it's like, oh, this place has got to get all fixed up before you could even begin a dojo.
Right. And there's actually one little Easter egg that's thrown in. He's like, hey, wash the windows. And he's like, is there any specific way you want me to do it? And he's like, nah, I don't give a shit. Which is like, very funny that it's very much going against the grain of the Miyagi-Do. You know, he has strike first, strike hard, no mercy right there on the wall. And he teaches these fucking kids that. So they start off as very timid. Miguel is the first one that really learns how to stand up and fight and gain confidence. The first time he does, he actually gets his ass kicked, but it's at the Halloween dance, and he's going to wear some Deadpool outfit, and turns out into like this fucking ridiculous like bed sheet that his grandma made him.
It's like what it turned out. It was like it was going to be Spider-Man.
There's something.
It's like you can see the method.
Johnny is
of what
like
you're
you're fucking poor man or something. It just I found his humor very funny. Even though he's an asshole, I found it funny. So he's like, you know, we got a reputation to uphold. So as soon as he said that, I knew what was going to happen. He fucking walked in with the skeleton outfit on. And that was such a great segue because Daniel was chaperoning at the dance and happened to see that. And you could see how much Cobra Kai fucked with him, because at the end of the first episode he sees that Johnny had opened the Cobra Kai dojo, and he's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, there's Cobra Kai back in the valley now. But he sees Miguel, he doesn't know who he is at the time, show up in the outfit, and he's pointing to his flyers that Johnny's been leaving up, which just like learn to fight. You know, Cobra Kai at hotmail.com or something. It's absolutely wonderful.
Hey kids, you go to my website, it's http
all lowercase
period
Cobra Kai all lowercase period CON.
And that's one of like the things that just like kept getting me was his inaptitude of knowing anything
about
technology or anything.
Like
he's definitely a product of the 80s.
And never let go
got
of that.
out of there. He doesn't know what Facebook is.
He doesn't
know
how
websites
don't know what that is.
work.
Yeah, he doesn't know what websites are. Yeah, when he started a social media campaign, like, oh yeah, duh.
I mean, not to jump ahead in the series, but there was a little bit that made us both chuckle, where he puts down an Atari 2600 and it's like, don't you want this, he's at a pawn shop, he was like,
trying to get
I want
money
to
for
send
Ray.
you this Nintendo.
Yeah, which
So
actually...
They acknowledged Nintendo.
They acknowledged Nintendo in their universe, which means the Karate Kid game for NES exists in their universe. Paradox. That would tear time and space apart right there if that was to be known.
There was a game development over at the All Valley, and then they were like,
maybe
this kid's got some moxie. Let's see what
moxie.
Alright, got a little bit of moxie there. We're going to see what happens when he goes to Japan and Okinawa and all.
It's the end of the first one and then the second one. So.
Yeah.
But seeing the transition of the kids, of them being very timid, how Miguel first, when he's in the skeleton outfit, he strikes back against that kid, Kyler, and his friends dressed in the pirate outfits.
Those kids were douches. They were perfect douches.
Perfect pieces, absolute pieces of shit, especially when he got like the Pepto-Bismol dumped on his head, and he threw Dimitri's bag in the trash with yogurt. Yeah. I specifically had experience.
And they've upped the game on this stuff now because it's like not only are these kids douches, like, okay, you could put that into Tenny Timeline, but they're doing stuff like online harassment.
Right, they're touching on
They're doing like all the new stuff that kids these days have to deal with.
Yeah,
that's probably one of the more powerful things that they did in there, where they have the parallels of like Johnny's inaptitude of technology and everything, yet all the kids coming into Cobra Kai, they're getting cyberbullying, and Johnny has no idea what this is.
No, he doesn't even know what smartphones are.
All he has to say is just go up to them and
just punch them in the face.
Yeah,
it's like we had honor back then. If we're going to pick on somebody, you did it to their face. You weren't,
exactly.
You weren't a pussy and did it online.
Powerful line.
No, it was. There's
Johnny
a lot of very powerful lines. And like I've said, watching it through twice, I mean, William Zabka nails it. Like, hits it out of the park, home run. He was absolutely amazing reprising the role of Johnny. I thought he was great. Totally believable. Now I sympathize with him. Now I would sit down and have a beer with him. I absolutely would.
I mean, that's a lot.
But what I'm trying to get to, what the kids become after Miguel finally gets enough training, and Kyler's being a piece of shit to Daniel's daughter, who Miguel has a crush on. There's a whole arc of that. He stands up to them. Kyler's like, oh, you haven't had enough? You want a beat down? And Miguel, he's got enough training. He doesn't beat the shit out of just Kyler. He kicks the shit out of his 3 douchebag friends also. And of course, all the kids whip out their cell phones and they're taking video of it, so it all ends up on YouTube and everybody gets to see it, which boosts up Cobra Kai. The next day, Johnny pulls up and Miguel's there, and there's like 50 kids outside that just want to join because they've been bullied. They want to stand up to this. So that's when it really takes off. And of course, a lot of them get whittled out because Johnny is extremely abrasive and very much, not to make so much of a commentary on this generation, people are very soft and they don't like getting
They mentioned that a couple times, like, oh, well, that's not politically correct, or you shouldn't make fun of them. It's like, this is not...
I understand that. I understand that. I understand it very much, and not to make like a social point or anything like that. But the generation where I was raised, or we were raised in the 80s, it was not like that at all. You had to deal with this shit. It was front and center in your fucking face, whether you wanted to deal with it or not.
Yeah, not everybody can be in their safe space all the time.
No, you can't.
Cobra Kai is essentially supposed to be a place where if all else fails and you can't do any of the stuff, you can at least defend yourself. You can stand up for yourself.
Right.
You get confidence. And that's a lot of, like, really strong... There's a weird... like parallel, not even a parallel, it's like a complete yin and yang with the kind of wisdom. Miyagi brought a like a heightened spiritual kind of wisdom to it. Johnny
Miyagi
is like
about
the more
power
human
and strength.
Power and strength, a little bit more human condition. It's like you're gonna have to deal with a lot of jerks and assholes out there,
right?
And it's not
assholes
just a lot
in the world play by the rules.
Yeah, exactly.
I especially liked when he was teaching him, not really about violence or anything, but you got to learn how to defend yourself. When he's teaching Miguel how to punch, and he's like, you're not punching this guy, you're punching through this asshole's head, and you're hitting the guy
on the other side.
And that's not like, for punching, that's kind of a good lesson to like really learn how to throw your power
because a lot of
into
people when they start, they just go, they essentially they max out right before they actually like hit their target.
Any self-defense classes I took, regardless of the teacher of their philosophy, they always would say, you know, keep the power like right here in your fist.
Yeah.
But what these kids become after they get whittled down and there's only a small group of them left, maybe about, I don't know, 15 or so, whittled down from about the 50 of them that become Cobra Kais that are in the black karate gis at the end. The one kid, Eli, my God, what he becomes. He's the one kid, he has the cleft lip, he's wearing like the old bulky sweaters and stuff, he's very timid, he's really made fun of. There's actually one part with cyberbullying when they're brought up, like that some teacher who's trying to be nice and doesn't realize, says in front of all the kids in the lunchroom that we just had a call from some kid's mother for kids making fun of his facial deformity, and he was known for that. So everybody looks at him because clearly they're gonna know, and bullies are fucking vicious. They smell fear. That's how it is. Yeah. So I resonated with him so much because I was very much like that. I was timid. I didn't want to. I was picked on. I didn't want to be fucked with. I just wanted to be left alone. But what he becomes when Johnny really gets on him, he's like, you gotta flip the script. He's like, you want to, and because he's making fun of his lip, and he's like, you want to be known as the kid with the lip, or you want to be known as something else? And the next time he comes back in, he's got like some badass outfit on, he's got this big fucking mohawk, and he just wants to be known as Hawk, and he starts dominating the class, and he becomes like this vicious fucking beast, and he eventually, but he's still... Of that, he's still afraid of his parents. He gets this big hawk tattoo on his back, and he's supposed to be like,
I'm gonna keep my shirt on until
he's still afraid of his parents. He's like, all badass. Like, guys, check this out. Boom, hawk. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna have to wear a shirt at least until the end of high school, probably into college. That like, he's a badass, but he's still scared of his parents. But I very much saw in myself that when I was about 14, 15 years old, if I would have had a sensei like Johnny and learned that type of karate and had a group of other kids that were also bullied and being in that situation, I'm very sure I would have become like the bullied kid becoming the bullier, just to lash out at people because of how much pent-up rage and anger I had towards all these other kids.
At that point.
Yeah, and you have power at that point.
The other thing too, if you're timid back then, do you think you would have been one of the kids that would have stayed, or one of the kids that would be like, no, I can't do this?
See, that's a good question too.
That's tough.
I don't know.
I don't think I would have. I didn't get out of my shell until around my college days, where I completely like changed kind of my persona and personality, because I was very timid and scared about how I was growing up. Now that I was going away to college, I did not have that fear anymore, because I could just start over in a new, and if I ever went back to my hometown or anything, I could face everybody with a brand new attitude.
That's
but back then, I don't. If I had somebody as tough as Johnny from that, I'd be like, he's making fun of me, this is too tough. I didn't comprehend that whole, if you stick around, you tough it out, maybe I'll become a little bit stronger.
Right.
Because Johnny didn't really tell anybody that. It was just we're going to pick out and see who's going to be able to stay.
Right.
And if you kind of get it, if you want to go that extra mile and just force yourself to stick with it, you know, that's the bigger lesson right there.
Yeah.
Just being told, just stick around, this is bullshit anyway.
I don't know if, to be honest, that's a good question. I don't know. I might have. I honestly don't know the answer to that. But I do know if I would have stuck with it and gone through that training, I probably would have become a real piece of shit at that point in my life. And that honestly, that it's, you know, when a show makes you think, and especially comes from, you know, a movie that you love so much that really molded how you look at life and look at other people, and, you know, you have sympathy and empathy for other people, really resonates with you. But the end of it was awesome. How Johnny just wanted to win the All Valley tournament. Cobra Kai was actually they had a lifetime ban put on them because of the tournament.
And Daniel was head of the committee.
Well, he was on the committee.
Yeah.
That he was, and he just always happened to be, because he always had a lot of respect for All Valley, because he was like the two-time.
Well, I think because everybody was like passing stuff through. It's just like he seemed like he was like the authority to go through it. And a lot of these people that were like on that panel just seemed to be like not comprehending. Like, this is a friendly sport. It's like,
no,
it's a friendly sport, but there's some history where it's not quite so friendly. This is some tough stuff to get through.
Yeah, actually, getting to Daniel's character, I mean, a lot of people said that he was like an asshole in this show. I don't think he was an asshole. He got out of his shell. He became very successful. He has, you know, LaRusso Auto Group. He
definitely shows off that Jersey kind of attitude.
No, he totally has the Jersey tough, he says to his daughter also. Yeah. But he's got, like, this gorgeous wife and, like, you know, 2 kids. His little kid, his fucking son, is such a... My God, I want to smack that fucking kid, that little arrogant shit. What was his name? Anthony? He's
so like,
He was like the only character in the show I didn't like, but his older daughter, Sam, her whole arc.
Her arc was really
great.
It was good.
You know, of being like, you know, this nerd, but she was hot, so she fell in with the hot popular girls, but that didn't work out, and then eventually she starts training with Daniel again in season 2. We could definitely see she's going to be kicking some serious ass.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about like predictions in a minute. Once we're done,
we'll get to that. But with Daniel, also, I mean, there's so much to talk about. Daniel's character, how he resonates. He ends up training Johnny's son, who's like a total.
That's a whole different subplot that I thought was going to go in a completely different direction.
That's a whole other subplot we could talk about. God damn, this is going to be a long video.
Yeah, I mean, like to really sum it up with his character, he gets introduced a few episodes in.
Yeah.
Just
he's
like randomly.
16. He's not going to school. He's doing drugs. He's hanging out with these 2 other kids that are fucking thieves. They're pieces of shit. If you hear jingling, Cloud is jumping in his box right now.
Cloud, yeah, he's right in that box.
He is. We got him a bed, and he wants to go in the fucking box that the bed came in instead. He loves his Amazon Prime boxes. But, Cloud watched Cobra Kai with me. He likes to do karate. Yeah. But, I've lost my train of thought.
Oh, we were talking about Johnny's son and...
Johnny's son.
Yes, all the hijinks that he was in until he's just like, I'm going to get back at my dad, and I am going to work at LaRusso Auto.
Right.
He ends up actually doing pretty well. He gets a friendship going with Daniel to the point where he takes him out for training.
Mm-hmm. Takes him out for training, but also he gets a lot of discipline and learns about like hard work and
he quickly turns him around. I was kind of surprised with that.
Quickly he does.
I think certain people in that mindset that he had, where it's just like, okay, you know, I have a bad family background, everybody ignores me. Somebody that's actually taking him in
that actually cares.
And like caring for him. That can really resonate with somebody very quickly.
Well, Daniel became a father figure to him, and then eventually started training him in Miyagi-Do, and then there's a whole thing that happens where it falls apart, where Daniel didn't know that it was Johnny's son, and it all goes to shit, and then eventually Robbie,
even not that quickly. It was just
well, at the end it all comes to a head in like the ninth episode. But he trains him and stuff all without, and it's great. You see all the parallels. He's like, oh, Mr. LaRusso, I finished waxing this one lot, and he was doing the wax on, wax off, and instead it was like, oh, both lots, instead of Miyagi, like, oh, I finished painting the fence, like, oh, really, both sides? So there's a lot of little Easter eggs in there if you're fans of the original one. But eventually, that Johnny's son Robbie ends up fighting in the tournament on his own, and Daniel is coaching him. Well, they get back in good graces together, and Daniel's coaching him throughout the tournament. And then it ends up that he makes it to the finals, fighting against Miguel, the first kid that was part of Cobra Kai.
And at this point, Miguel's character went
totally changed.
That was impressive because not just Miguel's character, but a lot of other characters in there were so organic in how they were able to just kind of change. It didn't seem very forced. Miguel's character was very gradual, and it got to the point, like around episode 6 or 7, when he was on top of the world. He did Cobra Kai, he got his confidence, he was getting the girl and everything, and then it just started to crumble. And he just had that pent-up aggression that he finally started getting out, and then at the end, after they had the fight, I mean, I guess if you've been here for the spoilers so far, unfortunately,
Miguel wins. Cobra Kai wins. That's what happens.
He wins.
Essentially, Johnny
he loses.
He loses. Well, Johnny.
What's important to him?
Johnny finally gets what he wants, but he also loses his son at the end. He goes to congratulate. He tries to talk to his son, and Robbie's like, "I can't," and walks away with Daniel. It's like, Jesus, I'm losing my son to my fucking adversary here. So that's like a huge sting, and it's like, okay, Johnny, you finally got what you want, but it's how you finally wanted it. And then the closing scene is Johnny is back at the dojo. He's by himself. The lights are off. He's got the trophy. You hear the door open, and you just see his silhouette. And oh man, I mean, spoiler, you watched it, okay? It's fucking Kreese. It's Kreese.
Tanned greasy.
Yeah, leathery. He's like, it's just begun.
Oh, man. He looks like a guy from Ultimate Stuntman.
Oh, boy. Ultimate Stuntman and Kreese. Same universe.
Oh, God.
So, all right, now that we've gotten to that, predictions for Season 2 already been crazy that it's now, on the day of recording this, it's like the 10th of June, and it's been a little more than a month that Cobra Kai has been out. Already been greenlit for another 10 episodes in Season 2. That's how good this is, and that's how fast it was.
It's rivaling a lot of the Netflix shows, from what I heard. Like, in terms of the people that watch it, it blew up.
Yep.
Really, big.
Side note, too, for it, the first 2 episodes are free, and then the other 8 you have to do. You have to pay for YouTube Red. It is totally worth it for a YouTube Red. Yeah, YouTube Red subscription. So, predictions for Season 2. What do you see happening?
So, one of the things that I definitely saw, like, at the end of the series where Miguel essentially, even though he won, there's this one pan-back shot of him just, like, wanting to essentially, like, show, like, present the trophy or one of his winnings to Sam, Danny's daughter.
And she left.
And he's just there all alone.
Right.
The only people that are, like, in the audience is his
mom and his
member.
grandma.
So, essentially, at this point, he's like at a low point, even though
well, he feels great. He won the All Valley tournament, but
so what I'm thinking is what's going to end up happening is that I think that Johnny and Kreese are going to probably start working at Cobra Kai together.
Absolutely,
they're going to have a big disagreement on what's going on. Kreese is probably going to take over Cobra Kai. And Johnny is probably going to like team up with Daniel.
Yep.
And so Miguel is going to be part of Cobra Kai, and Johnny's going to try and rekindle, a relationship with his son and Daniel, and they're probably going to be another tournament. Both of them are going to be going at it, mixed in with this whole love triangle thing that's going to be happening with Sam.
Yes, that Daniel's daughter Sam was dating Miguel. They broke up, and also that Robbie was making moves on her. So there's definitely going to be a whole love triangle thing going on there. That's going to be explored. I think that Miguel is going to be part of Cobra Kai, and he's going to be torn between his loyalty to Johnny and his faith in Cobra Kai, and also his hatred also for Robbie, because he's like his adversary now. It's so weird how everything flip the script. It's so weird how everything gets flipped around. But also Sam, you see at the end, she was a kid. She was training with Daniel. And now she's training with him again. At the very end, she does like this crazy flip kick and like punches right to the camera, and that's how it ends.
She'll probably
she's like going to kick some serious ass. Yeah. So there's a lot that could happen. I definitely agree that Kreese is going to come take over Cobra Kai, and there's going to be a huge disagreement between Kreese and Johnny and Daniel are going to have to team up, and that is going to cause a lot of friction. So
there were drops and hints of that, especially episode like 7 or 8, where they end up going for a beer.
Oh, that episode is great.
That
was
they end up fantastic. Where they were just like Daniel pretty much owes Johnny a car because apparently Danny's cousin.
His cousin Louie and some motorcycle guys threw like a Molotov cocktail and like blew it the fuck up. They destroyed his car.
So Johnny confronts Daniel at the house, and of course,
he's standing out there.
Danny's Daniel's wife, who's the MVP of the freaking series at this point. It's cool and calm. It's like, are you boys gonna fight out here?
It's like, are you really gonna
some lunch?
Yeah, are you gonna fight your boyhood karate rival on the front lawn in front of your son, or are you gonna come in and have breakfast?
Yeah,
it's like I could eat. So they end up going out to a bar.
It's like go and get him a car.
Yeah.
He goes and he gets a
Challenger.
Gets him a Challenger.
Oh, the car's
they go out for a test drive and they're like, oh, here's a bar right here. Let's go get a drink. And then they just
when they're listening to the radio.
Oh yeah.
And it's not ELO. It's REO Speedwag. Yeah, it's Speedwagon that comes on, and they're like, "Is this okay with you?" It's like, "Yeah, it's cool."
Yeah.
Who doesn't like Speedwagon? I don't really, but they start singing and they go to a bar. And Daniel orders a water, and of course Johnny, when he's been drinking those fucking Coors Banquet beers that are just so 80s. My God, I remember my uncle drinking those. But and then he's like, you know what? Fuck it, give me a martini. And they end up drinking and getting a little silly and reminiscing. And he's asking about Allie, and then Daniel shows oh, Allie's here on Facebook. He's like, what the fuck is Facebook? It's very funny, but it's great to see them actually form a bond, and that's actually at the point right after that they come back. They're gonna spar, just a friendly spar at Daniel's place, and Robbie shows up and it's like, oh shit, I didn't know this was your son, and holy fucking balls, let's have the ground fall out. That was like
and I love
episode 9
the name of that episode too. The episode's name is Same But Different.
Same but different. Yep, that could kind of sum up the whole series. Same but different. The writing is
it's that whole yin and yang.
The writing was
it's
So to sum up, the writing is so goddamn clever.
Yep.
It's totally worth the YouTube Red subscription. Just watch the first 2 episodes that are free. I guarantee you'll be sucked into those if you are a fan of just the original Karate Kid. Part 2 and Part 3 really don't play in too much here. It really is based in the roots of the original Karate Kid, the best one. So I couldn't recommend it enough. Obviously, if you're watching this, you probably have watched it already, since I'm going to put spoilers real fucking big in the thumbnail and in the title, so you don't fucking scream at me, so you guys don't get to yell in the comments about it. So, what are your thoughts about Cobra Kai? I'm sure anybody that's watching this is a big fan of Karate Kid, very much like us, grew up with it, so I would love to hear how you guys feel about it. Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's all Cobra Kai.
That's it.
Looking forward to season 2.
Looking forward to season 2, I think sometime 2019. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I guess keep it pixelated, keep it pixelated.
Squarepainter,